All right, so I've looked through some of the questions you guys have sent, and I picked one, ufoguy51 at yahoo.com. This guy, there's not a whole bunch of information, but I'm just going to kind of go off this. He's 24 years old. His girlfriend's like 22 or 21, I forget. I don't know if they live together, but recently she told him a guy that comes in the store that she works at, I'm not going to say where or what kind of store it is. It's nothing crazy, but it doesn't really pertain to anything. Brought her in like flowers, and not like some like $5.99 flowers. And he's feeling a certain type of way about it. One, I'll never tell anybody how to feel about anything, because you're allowed to feel, and you might be on the right path, or you might be not. You know, it's normal to feel, you know, especially when you're young, and that kind of stuff isn't like, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that you're a kid, but you are a kid. When that stuff happens like that, it's you know, I mean, my philosophy in life is like, I'm just gonna give you my philosophy, and then I'm just gonna throw a couple things out there. You can't. Everybody is free to fucking do whatever they're gonna listen. She's gonna do whatever the fuck she wants to do, whenever she wants to do it, and she'll rationalize it by saying he made time for me. Not saying that's what's going to happen, but I'm just saying if you're having trust issues with her and you don't trust her for whatever reason, you don't need to have a reason. You know, kick her to the fucking curb now. You know what I mean? Like, just get rid of, if you live together, start trying to pile up some cash, get a second job, and move on with your life. Because I would say go with your gut. As long as you're not an absolute fucking nut job. Now, if she came home and, let's say this. I don't know, like, in my life right now, if I had a girlfriend and she came home with flowers like that, I would think she would know that I don't want to fucking look at them. You know what I mean? You know, I would probably say, you know, there's two parts of me. My first part would be like, why are you bringing them in the house? You know what I mean? Like, why are, you know, like, part of me's like, the other part of me is like, you know, what does it fucking really, at the end of the day, what the fuck does it really matter? You know what I mean? If you've transported them this far, you know, it really, I don't know. I wouldn't bring them home. You know what I mean? Like, period. So if you bring them home, I'm not saying that her intentions were to make you a little jealous, but maybe you need to be made a little jealous. Maybe your ass needs to be buying her flowers, you know, and doing some romantic shit. You know, girls like romantic shit, like, you know, like surprising them. When's the last time, you know, you guys went out on a date? You know, like, you gotta, just because you live with somebody or whatever, you gotta, you know, just because a girl's your girl doesn't mean that you stop taking her out to dinner and stop opening the door for her and all of that stuff. So, you know, there's a multifaceted thing. One, the first thing is, in my relationship, if my girlfriend brought them flowers home, I'd be like, I'm not looking at them flowers, sweetheart. You know what I mean? And I don't know why you would bring them home, especially with how good my ass is to you. You shouldn't be bringing no flowers home from any guy. And then, so if it went that direction, I would be just looking for some suspicious activity. You know what I mean? Like, is she going to the gym or whatever? You know, because it will reveal itself to you eventually. You know, I don't know. Like if a girl asked me for something and I got a girlfriend, I got a girlfriend. I would say the correct answer for her at that appropriate time, I don't give a fuck if you hurt the dude's feelings. Hey man, I can't, I got a boyfriend. I can't bring them fucking flowers home. You know what I mean? Like it's going to cause problems. You know, even if it isn't going to cause problems, you know, like you don't bring flowers home. But on the same token, it really depends about the relationship too, because there's times where it depends on the girl that I'm with. Like if I feel like there's something squirrely going on, I'm gonna be like, I don't like this, you know. And you don't have to. And listen, there's no right or wrong to this. However you feel about this, you know, is how you feel about this. So don't let her fucking tell you how you should be feeling and da-da-da-da-da. But you do need to be secure enough that if you don't trust her, then you already don't, then there's your answer right there. There's bigger problems going on, and some $25 flowers might just save you fucking a paternity test and, you know, you paying for a fucking kid, you know, later on, paying for your kids and shit later on down the road when you're paying child support and shit. If the shoe was on the other foot, me personally, you know, I got a girlfriend, you know, like, I can't bring them home, man. I mean, I'm in love with my girlfriend. I'm planning on whatever. I would always tell a girl I'm engaged. You know what I mean? Like, not that there was thousands of them asking me questions. That way, they just knew, like, I'm getting married. You know what I mean? Like, don't, you know, don't bother me. But it's all, you know, I would also say don't be insecure about goofy shit. Like sometimes I would, you know, don't get me wrong, I've had some girls cheat on me with some goofy looking dudes. You know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, I can't live my life going like, oh, if I meet another, you know, the next girl I meet, like I gotta worry about her. No, you know, I'm not worried about her fucking cheating or whatever. You know, it is what it is. It's always gonna be what it is. You can't stop somebody from whatever, and I'm not letting them, you know. But if there are already things in that dimension, I'd say and she's bringing them home and like fucking throwing it in your face, kind of like passive aggressively, or she's like playing with them and shit at dinner, maybe you need to take the hint that your ass needs to buy her some fucking flowers. Maybe you need to start doing some kind of like, I don't know, some of these guys today, most of these guys today think that women want to just jump right into the sack with them and no foreplay or kissing and fucking romance. And I'm not going to teach you all the tricks of the trade, but you got to learn how to do things with your hands and your mouth and figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, it's not all about just shoving your dick in them and fucking hurrying it up. You know what I mean? Like, I just see a lot of people that, a lot of women have told me that, you know, I've had girls that I don't want to have foreplay with that have told me, oh, we don't ever have foreplay. I know we don't. That's because we're not in that. That was in my 20s. But if you're in love with her, you need to, you know, you might need to up your game, or you might be on top of your shit and you might be right. So, you know, I don't know. I don't like it, but it's not going to, it really depends on the relationship. Okay? It really depends on the relationship. If I had a solid ass motherfucking relationship, which my last one wasn't, I'd be like, bitch, you need to throw that shit out. Why would you even bring that into my house, nut job? You know what I mean? That's how I would have felt about that. I would have been like, you know, what the fuck are you doing bringing them home? You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? You know? What, are you encouraging this behavior? You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, he just picked you out of a fucking hat. You're that pretty. You know what I mean? Like, but if you have a solid relationship, which is a rare thing, you know, as long as it ain't becoming a monthly thing, I'd be like, babe, you know, you need to tell this guy, you know, XYZ.